Welcome to Sarah Wood's Tale, where stories comes alive. Please do well to hit that subscription button and turn on your notification bell for subsequent stories. The rain came down hard that night in Lagos. The streets were flooded, the air thick and heavy with humidity. Streetlights flickered weakly, casting a pale yellow glow on the wet road. Ethan Cole sat behind the wheel of his sleek black Range Rover, tapping his fingers impatiently on the steering wheel. "Why do I always get stuck in traffic when I have something important to do?" he muttered, annoyed. Ethan was not used to delays. As the 35-year-old billionaire CEO of Coltech, he lived in a world where everything happened on his terms. His time was money. And tonight, he had a dinner meeting with foreign investors at one of the finest hotels in Victoria Island. But the traffic was thick. Horns blared. Rain pounded his windshield. He turned left into a narrow street to escape the congestion. That's when it happened. A figure darted across the road. Ethan hit the brakes hard. Tires screeched. The car came to a jerking stop just inches away from the girl. "What the hell?" Ethan shouted, rolling down the window. "Are you crazy?" The girl stood frozen. Soaking wet, her hair stuck to her face. She wore a tattered dress and held a small bag close to her chest. She looked like she hadn't eaten in days. "I'm sorry," she whispered, her voice trembling. "I didn't see the car coming." Ethan narrowed his eyes. "Do you know how much this car costs? People like you shouldn't even be on this road." The girl looked up at him. Her eyes, large, brown, tired, met his. For a moment, time paused. There was something in her gaze. Something deep. Something broken. "I didn't mean to cause trouble," she said softly, stepping back from the car. Ethan scoffed, rolled up his window, and sped off. But as he drove on, something unexpected happened. Her eyes stayed with him. No matter how many turns he made, or how loud the music played, those sad eyes followed him like a shadow. He shook his head, trying to brush it off. "She's just another street girl," he told himself. But somewhere deep inside, a small voice whispered, "Why do you feel guilty then?" Meanwhile, the girl, Hope Adams, stood alone on the sidewalk, shivering. The rain soaked her thin clothes. She looked around for shelter and saw a broken wooden stall nearby. She crawled under it, hugging her bag tightly. Inside that bag was everything she had left in this world: a photo of her little brother, a worn-out Bible, and a few coins she earned helping Mama Ada sell puff puffs that morning. She lay on the cold, damp ground, tears mixing with the rain on her cheeks. "I'm tired," she whispered into the darkness. "God, I'm so tired." 2 days later, the sun was shining again over Lagos. Ethan stood on the deck of his luxury yacht, sipping champagne and laughing with his friends. The water sparkled, the breeze was gentle, and music played from the speakers. Everything screamed wealth and power. Among his guests were the usual group: young millionaires, models, and influencers. All dressed in designer clothes, showing off their lives on Instagram. So Ethan, one of his friends, Marcus, grinned. "We saw that viral video of you almost hitting that street girl. The internet is roasting you." Ethan rolled his eyes. "They roast me for everything. Who cares?" David Cole, Ethan's younger brother, leaned on the railing beside him. Still, she looked scared. "You could have been more human." "She shouldn't have been on the road in the first place," Ethan said flatly. Another friend, Vanessa, laughed. "But let's be honest, Ethan, you've never been into serious relationships. You only date models, actresses, and Instagram girls." "Because I don't do complications," Ethan smirked. David raised an eyebrow. "You think love is a joke, don't you?" Ethan grinned. "It's not a joke. It's just, not for me." Marcus sipped his drink. "But what if someone real, like that homeless girl, walked into your life? Could you love her?" Ethan laughed out loud. "Please. A homeless girl? What would I do with her?" Vanessa leaned forward. "Okay, wait. What if, just what if, you took someone like her and turned her into a lady of class? High society, red carpet, the works?" Ethan tilted his head, amused. "You mean like My Fair Lady?" David nodded. "Exactly. Could you do it?" Ethan looked out at the water, then smirked. I could turn even a girl from the street into a woman everyone wants. If I wanted. Prove it, David said sharply. The group fell silent. Ethan's eyes narrowed. Are you challenging me? I am, David said. Let's see if you can actually find that girl again. Help her. And maybe, fall for her. Ethan chuckled. Fall for her. That's not part of the deal. It should be, David said. Or else, what's the point? Ethan looked thoughtful. Then he grinned. Fine. I'll do it. I'll find her. Give her a place to stay. Change her life. Vanessa clapped her hands. This is going to be so entertaining. But don't forget, David warned, she's not a toy. Later that day, Ethan drove back to that street. It took him hours, but he finally spotted her sitting near Mama Ada's stall, helping the older woman pack up snacks. Ethan stepped out of his car. Hope froze when she saw him. You, she said. Yes. Me, Ethan replied smoothly, putting on his most charming smile. We got off to a bad start the other night. Hope stood slowly. What do you want? I want to help you, he said. A place to stay. Clean clothes. Food. A fresh start. Hope narrowed her eyes. Why? Ethan shrugged. Call it charity. Call it kindness. Or maybe I just believe in second chances. She stared at him. Or maybe you want something from me. He laughed lightly. Suspicious, aren't you? I've lived on the streets. I know when someone's playing a game. Ethan's smile faded a little. I'm not playing. Then why now? You insulted me the other night. I made a mistake, he said. Let me fix it. Hope glanced at Mama Ada, who was watching with curiosity. I don't trust rich men, she said. Ethan took a wad of cash from his pocket and held it out. Then trust this. It'll help. Hope stared at the money. Then she reached out and slapped it out of his hand. The notes scattered on the ground. Ethan blinked, stunned. I may be poor, Hope said quietly, but I'm not for sale. Then she turned and walked away. Ethan stood there, his hand still outstretched, heart strangely shaken. For the first time in a long time, someone had said no to him. And he couldn't stop thinking about her. Not her looks. Not her situation. But the fire in her eyes. Ethan didn't know why he returned to that street again. Maybe it was pride. Maybe it was curiosity. Or maybe, deep down, her refusal had touched something he didn't know still existed inside him. It had been 3 days since Hope rejected his money. He found her sitting on a stool beside Mama Ada, peeling oranges. Her hair was tied back in a messy bun, and she had a bandage on her hand. Ethan stepped out of his car and walked toward them. Mama Ada spotted him first. Ogre rich man again, she said with a frown. What do you want now? Hope looked up slowly. I thought I said no. Ethan raised both hands. I'm not here to throw money at you again. Hope wiped her hands with a rag. Then why are you here? Ethan took a deep breath. I want to talk. Please. 5 minutes. Mama Ada looked between them and sighed. Hope, go. Talk to him. I'll be fine. Hope stood up reluctantly and followed Ethan to a quiet corner of the street. I wasn't honest last time, Ethan said. I came with the wrong attitude. You think? Hope replied, folding her arms. Ethan chuckled softly. Okay, I deserved that. He paused, watching her face. But I meant it when I said I wanted to help. Why? She asked again. Why me? I don't know, he admitted. There's something about you. You're different. Hope looked away. Different doesn't feed people. Mama Ada is sick. She's the only one who's ever cared for me. I've been saving for her tests, but... Her voice cracked, and she quickly wiped a tear. Ethan's voice softened. I'll help. With her treatment. No conditions. Just let me help you. Hope looked at him, uncertain. He added, you don't have to be anyone else. Just come stay in my guest house. Rest. Eat. Take care of yourself. Hope hesitated, then nodded slowly. Only if you help Mama Ada first. I will, Ethan promised. By the next morning, Mama Ada had been taken to a private clinic and was getting treated. Ethan sent his driver to pick Hope up. As the car drove through the gates of Ethan's mansion in Ikoyi, Hope looked out in shock. The house was huge. Like something from a movie. Glass windows, marble floors, fountains. Ethan stood by the entrance in a simple white shirt and jeans. "I didn't expect you to come," he said. "I didn't come for you," Hope replied. "I came for Mama Ada." Inside, a housekeeper named Grace showed Hope to a clean guest room with a soft bed, new clothes, and a warm shower. Later that day, Ethan sat across from her at dinner. Hope looked uncomfortable in the fancy dining room. "You don't have to impress anyone," Ethan said. "I'm not trying to," she replied. "I just don't belong here." "Maybe not yet," he said. "But we'll see." The next morning, headlines exploded. Billionaire Ethan Cole moves homeless girl into mansion, new girlfriend or charity project. At his office, Ethan's assistant showed him the articles. "What should I say to the press?" she asked. Ethan replied without hesitation, "Tell them she's a project. I'm helping her." Hope saw the news later that evening on the house TV. Her heart sank. "A project," she whispered to herself. She walked into the living room where Ethan was on a call. When he hung up, she asked quietly, "Is that what I am to you? A project?" Ethan looked up. "It's just a word. I had to say something to the media." Hope nodded. "Right. Because telling the truth would be too hard." She walked out without waiting for a reply. In her room that night, she cried softly into her pillow. Days passed. Hope didn't talk much, but she observed everything. She helped Grace with the dishes, learned how to use the fancy washing machine, and spent time in the library reading old books. Ethan watched her from afar. She wasn't like any woman he had ever known. She didn't ask for gifts. She didn't wear makeup. She didn't care about selfies. One afternoon, Ethan's mother, Caroline Cole, came to visit. She was battling a heart condition and walked with a cane. Hope rushed to help her out of the car. "Be careful," she said gently. Caroline smiled. "And who are you, my dear?" "Just Hope," she replied. Inside the house, Hope made her tea and sat with her for hours, listening to her stories. When Ethan came home that evening, he found his mother laughing for the first time in weeks. "She's special, that girl," Caroline said later. "Don't mess this up." Ethan raised a brow. "We're not, she's just staying here for a while." Caroline chuckled. "Then maybe let her stay longer." Tracy Morgan, Ethan's fiancée, wasn't happy when she found out about Hope. "What is this, Ethan?" she demanded during a dinner meeting. "A street girl in your house." "She's just staying for a while," Ethan replied, annoyed. Tracy rolled her eyes. "Do you know what people are saying? You're humiliating me." "No one's forcing you to stay," Ethan said coldly. Tracy's eyes widened. "Are you serious?" Ethan stood up. "If you're only here for the image, Tracy, then maybe we're both wasting our time." She stormed out. That night, Hope heard the shouting but stayed in her room. The next morning, Hope went to check on Caroline again. She brought her breakfast and helped her walk to the garden. Caroline patted Hope's hand. "You remind me of myself when I was young. Life didn't hand me anything either." Hope smiled faintly. "Sometimes I wonder if it ever will." "You're stronger than you know," Caroline said. One evening, Ethan found Hope in the kitchen, cooking with Grace. "You cook?" he asked, surprised. Hope turned to him. "Of course. What do you think I ate on the streets? 5-star meals?" He chuckled. "Fair point." She served him a plate of jollof rice. He took a bite and looked up, impressed. "This is really good. Better than the chefs you hire," she teased. "Definitely more flavor." They laughed. It was the first time they laughed together. Later that night, Ethan stood on the balcony, looking at the stars. Hope joined him quietly. "This place is so peaceful," she said. "I built it to escape the world," Ethan replied. "Do you ever feel lonely in it?" He paused. "Sometimes." Hope looked at him. "You don't seem like the kind of man who admits that." "I don't," he admitted. "But with you, things feel different." They stood in silence for a moment, their eyes meeting under the moonlight. And for the first time in years, Ethan felt something warm inside. Not just attraction, but connection. Ethan was searching for a file in his study when he found a small notebook tucked under the corner of the guest couch. Curious, he opened it. The first page had a name, Hope Adams. It was filled with handwritten pages, some were poems, others were like diary entries. He didn't mean to read them, but one line stopped him. I still remember the day my little brother died in my arms. I told him the world would get better. I lied. Ethan froze. Another page. Dad left when I was 8. Mom died when I was 10. The streets don't care if you're a child. I learned to hide, to run, to survive, until I couldn't anymore. He read on. One night, I begged for food. A man pretended to help. I don't want to write what happened next. Ethan sat down slowly. His throat tightened. His chest felt heavy. He had called her a project. He had dared to bet on her dignity. And yet she had survived things he couldn't imagine. He closed the notebook gently and sat in silence. Later that day, Hope walked into the study and saw him holding her notebook. Her face changed instantly. "What are you doing?" she asked, snatching it from his hands. "I'm sorry, Hope," Ethan said quickly. "I didn't mean to read it. I swear it was an accident." She hugged the notebook to her chest. "It wasn't meant for anyone else." "I know," he said quietly. "But I'm glad I know now. I didn't understand before. I didn't try to." Hope turned away, eyes blinking fast. "I don't need your pity, Ethan." "It's not pity," he said. "It's guilt. I treated you like a joke. Like something I could fix and show off." She said nothing. "I want to help you," he said gently. "Not to change you, not to fix you, but to give you what life stole from you." "Why now?" she asked, turning to face him. "Why not when I was freezing under that stall? Why not when you threw money at me like I was nothing?" He looked down. "Because I was selfish. Because I didn't care until I saw what pain really looked like." Her voice cracked. "And now you want to feel better about yourself by helping me?" "No," he said. "I want to feel better by becoming someone who deserves to be in your presence." Hope stared at him. For a moment, she saw the cracks in his mask. But she still walked away. Some wounds needed more than apologies to heal. Hope kept her distance after that. She was polite, quiet, and focused. To respect her space, Ethan didn't force conversation. Instead, he asked his company's HR to offer her a small position as a junior assistant in the creative department. When they gave her the offer letter, she went to him. "Why are you doing this?" she asked. Ethan shrugged. "You said you didn't want pity. This isn't pity. You're smart. You deserve a chance." Hope looked at the paper, then at him. "No favors." "No favors," he promised. "You'll earn every bit of it. No one will know we even know each other unless you tell them." Hope nodded. "Okay. I'll take it." And she did. Within 2 weeks at the company, Hope impressed everyone. She worked hard, stayed late, learned fast, and even suggested a new campaign idea that saved a dying client account. People started asking, "Who is she?" Ethan pretended not to know. But secretly, he was proud. One evening, he invited her for dinner on the rooftop of the office building. "Just to thank you for your hard work," he said casually. She almost said no. But something in his eyes made her say yes. The rooftop was decorated with fairy lights, a small table for two, and jazz music playing from a speaker. Hope stepped out in a simple black dress Grace helped her pick. "You look," Ethan stopped. "Beautiful." She smiled shyly. "You don't clean up bad yourself." They laughed. Dinner was simple, grilled fish, rice, and fruit drinks. But it felt perfect. "I wanted to see you smile," Ethan said softly after the meal. Hope raised an eyebrow. "Why?" "Because when you smile," he said, "it feels like something heavy in me gets lighter." She looked down, touched. There was a long silence. Then he leaned forward slightly. Their eyes locked. For a second, time froze. He reached up and brushed a strand of hair from her face. Their lips were so close. Then Hope turned her head quickly. "No," she whispered. Ethan pulled back. "I'm sorry. Don't be," she said. "Just, don't play with a girl like me." "I'm not," he said, hurt showing in his voice. "This isn't a game." "Maybe not for you," she said, standing up. "But I've lost too much to take another risk." She left the rooftop without looking back. And Ethan sat alone under the stars, feeling something he had never felt before. Heartbreak. The morning sun filtered through the curtains of Ethan's penthouse, casting a warm glow over the room. He sat at the breakfast table, sipping his coffee, unaware of the storm brewing. His phone buzzed incessantly. Messages poured in from friends, colleagues, and even distant acquaintances. Confused, he picked up the remote and turned on the TV. A popular morning show was airing a segment titled, Billionaire's Bet, The Truth Behind Ethan Cole's Project. The host, with a grave expression, addressed the audience. In an exclusive interview, Tracy Morgan, former fiancée of Ethan Cole, reveals a shocking bet made by the billionaire. According to her, Ethan wagered with friends that he could transform a homeless girl into a high-society lady. Let's hear it from Tracy herself. The screen shifted to a pre-recorded interview. Tracy, poised and articulate, spoke directly to the camera. "Ethan told me about the bet during one of our yacht parties. He was amused by the idea of turning a street girl into someone who could fit into our world. It wasn't about charity, it was about ego." Ethan's heart sank. He felt the blood drain from his face. At that very moment, Hope was walking past a local electronics store. The TVs in the display window caught her attention. She stopped, her eyes widening as she saw Tracy's interview. "He called her a project," Tracy continued. "It was never about love or kindness. It was a game." Hope stood frozen, the world around her blurring. The words echoed in her mind, each one a dagger to her heart. She turned and ran, tears streaming down her face. Back at the penthouse, Ethan was frantically trying to reach Hope. Her phone went straight to voicemail. He called Grace, the housekeeper. "Grace, have you seen Hope?" "No, sir. She left early this morning. Said she needed some air." Ethan's mind raced. He called Mama Ada's clinic. "I'm sorry, Mr. Cole," the nurse said. "Hope hasn't been here today." Panic set in. He felt a weight pressing down on his chest. He called his driver. "James, find Hope. Check every place she might go. I need to find her." Days turned into weeks. Ethan searched every corner of the city. He visited shelters, soup kitchens, and the spots where Hope used to sleep. Each time, he came up empty. His once vibrant penthouse felt cold and lifeless. The laughter, the warmth, the essence of Hope was gone. He sat alone in the living room, staring at the city lights, a glass of untouched whiskey in his hand. His phone buzzed. A message from Mama Ada. "Come to the clinic. I have something for you." Ethan arrived at the clinic, his face weary. Mama Ada handed him a sealed envelope. "Hope left this for you." He opened it, unfolding a handwritten letter. "Ethan, I saw the interview. I heard everything. I never asked to be a project. I never wanted your world. I just wanted to matter in it. Goodbye. Hope." Ethan's hands trembled. The letter fell to the floor. He sank into a chair, burying his face in his hands. "What have I done?" he whispered. In the following days, Ethan withdrew from public life. He cancelled meetings, avoided calls, and spent his time revisiting the places Hope once frequented. At a local shelter, he volunteered, serving meals and listening to stories. An elderly man approached him. "You look familiar," the man said. "I used to be someone," Ethan replied. "Now, I'm just trying to find someone." One evening, Ethan returned to his penthouse. The silence was deafening. He walked through the rooms, memories flooding back. In the kitchen, he saw the apron Hope used to wear. In the library, the books she loved. In the garden, the flowers she planted. He sat on the balcony, the city skyline before him. "Hope," he whispered. "I'm sorry." A single tear rolled down his cheek. Hope turned, her eyes widening in shock. "Ethan," she whispered, disbelief evident in her voice. The children turned to see the newcomer. Sensing the tension, Hope addressed them. All right, class, let's take a short break. We'll continue in a bit. As the children filed out, Ethan stepped inside. Hope, I've been searching for you everywhere. She crossed her arms, her posture defensive. Why are you here, Ethan? I needed to see you, he began, his voice trembling. I needed to tell you how sorry I am. For everything. Hope looked away, her eyes glistening. You humiliated me. Made me feel like a pawn in your game. Ethan stepped closer, his voice breaking. It wasn't a game to me. Not after I got to know you. You changed me, Hope. You made me see the emptiness of my world. She met his gaze, searching for sincerity. And now? What do you want from me? Nothing, he said earnestly. I just want you to know that because of you, I've started to change. I've begun to understand what truly matters. Hope sighed, the weight of their shared past pressing down on her. Ethan, words are easy. Actions are what matter. He nodded, tears brimming in his eyes. I know. And I'm ready to prove it. Hope, he began, I've been working on something, and I'd like you to see it. Curiosity piqued, she agreed. This is the Hope Center, Ethan said softly. Named after the person who inspired it. Hope's eyes welled up. Ethan, this is incredible. He took her hands in his. I did this because of you. You showed me a world beyond wealth and power. You taught me the value of connection, of purpose. Hope looked into his eyes, seeing the sincerity and vulnerability. I was angry, Ethan. Hurt. But I see now that you've truly changed. He nodded, a tear escaping down his cheek. I have. And I owe it all to you. She stepped closer, resting her forehead against his. I forgive you. Relief washed over him. Thank you. As rain began to drizzle, they stood together, the past's pain washing away. Ethan leaned in, and this time, Hope met him halfway. Their lips touched, sealing a promise of a new beginning. Under the rain, they found solace, no longer bound by their past mistakes but united by the hope of a shared future. Please don't forget to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe to get more interesting stories like this.